What a year! The FDA just approved genetically modified salmon that could wreak havoc in the oceans and damage the health of consumers who eat it. The USDA approved genetically modified potatoes and apples that use double-stranded RNA that might reprogram our DNA if we eat it. Congress passed a bill we call the DARK Act, denying Americans the right to know, which, if the Senate passes a similar bill, could eliminate the possibility of mandatory labeling nationally or state by state. And Monsanto pulled out all its stops to get its propaganda talking points placed in major media around the country throughout the year. So why am I smiling? Every time I hear one of these news items, it reminds me that the strategy that the Institute for Responsible Technology chose to go with was the right one. And on that front, we're totally winning. Let me explain. There are two major categories for GMO activism: containment and elimination. For containment strategies, you try to stop the approvals of new GMOs or prevent them from being grown in certain regions. We certainly support those efforts, but some we win, some we lose. Case in point, salmon, apples, and potatoes. If you can eliminate GMOs, which is our strategy, you eliminate not only the current GMOs, but you eliminate the introduction of these newly approved GMOs, at least for many years. So every time I see an approval of a salmon, an apple, or any new GMO, I think to myself, we have to move quicker. We have to eliminate the market for GMOs before these new GMOs get introduced. Now let me share some very good news. In a recent New York Times article, they shared information from the Hartman Group, which is doing consumer research on GMOs. The Times wrote, "Consumers are increasingly looking for information about the presence of genetically modified ingredients in their foods, according to research by the Hartman Group. Quote, the GMO issue is something that continues to be brought up in an unprompted way in our interviews with consumers. And when we look at things like fat, sodium, and sugar, GMO is showing the strongest growth rate in terms of a characteristic that consumers are trying to avoid. They said about 58% of consumers are looking for non-GMO food. That's huge! 184 million Americans are looking for non-GMO food. This is a huge victory. This is the metric we look for. Yes, the salmon approval was terrible, the potatoes were terrible, but the 58% shows we are winning where it counts, in eliminating the market for GMOs. Will the food companies continue to use GM ingredients that give no consumer benefit when they start losing large chunks of their market share? Of course not. IRT has been dedicated to behavior change messaging, to get the information out about the health dangers of GMOs, why to avoid GMOs, and how. This is the type of information that needs to be spread now. We need to do it quickly. We need to do it before the salmon is introduced, before the apples are introduced, before the potatoes are introduced, so we eliminate the market for GMOs. And for that, we need your help. Please make a generous contribution to the Institute for Responsible Technology so we can convert the 184 million people looking for non-GMOs to committed non-GMO eaters. We know who they are, we know what to say, we know how to say it. Please make a contribution this year, and if you can, make it automatic so it continues month after month, so we can count on it as we implement our campaigns. Together, we will eliminate GMOs and protect our health and all future generations. Safe eating.